In this Canvas tutorial, we'll learn how to align outcomes and assessments. We will learn how to create or select an outcome, align that outcome to a rubric, and align an outcome to a quiz question bank. But first, let's talk about why we're doing this. When we align an outcome to a rubric or a group of questions, that enables that assignment to be used as an indicator of achievement for a particular outcome. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have an outcome related to critical thinking. Students who meet the outcome have successfully applied critical thinking skills to analyze the arguments of others and to craft their own well-reasoned argument. Well, you can imagine there might be many ways to measure the achievement of that outcome. 2 of them on your screen, a test or an essay. Well, in fact, there are even more ways to assess whether learners have achieved good critical thinking skills. They can take tests, write essays, give persuasive speeches, complete an analysis of a case study, engage in debates. The important thing is, if we align all of these assessments in Canvas to that outcome, we'll be able to measure student mastery of that outcome. That's why we are doing this. Where to begin? Let's start with your course objectives. All MBU courses already have objectives. They are those measurable targets of achievement for each and every course. And while every objective could and can be aligned with an outcome, you have to begin somewhere. So begin with the most important, most salient, significant objective from your course. This is the one above all else that will show your students have mastered a key element of the course. Start with that one. Let's move now to your Canvas course. This is a sandbox course, and we're going to move to the Outcomes link. You may find this is blank because this is a sandbox. Some things have been imported from various courses, but we're going to add an outcome here. So click the Add Outcome button at the top, and we need to give this outcome a name. Let's call it Critical Thinking. And if that were long, you could give it a friendly name to make it shorter. Remember that students will be able to see the name of the outcome, so make it something that makes sense to them. And then include a description of that outcome. If you come down here, you'll see by default that there are 3 levels, and we want to add a 4th level here. Partially meets expectations at 1 point. And we'll say OK. So for the purposes of university assessment, this is the set of levels that will be used. Exceeds, meets, partially meets, does not meet for a total of 4 levels. Mastery is set at 3, meets expectations. Calculation method, you can leave this as is or choose any of these. And as you change, you will see the definition is given to you down here. So you can choose which one you want. Decaying average works well because if you only have one item that is going to be graded for this, it will give the full weight of that item to this outcome. But if you have multiple opportunities on this same outcome, say a quiz that a student could take, this example has 7 times to earn different points, then this one says that the most recent will carry the most weight, 65%, and then the rest will be averaged in there. So that is an example of decaying average. All right, once you have set that, you click Save. And that's how easy it is to set up an outcome. If we return to the outcomes page, we would see now the ones that were in the course before and the one we just created. And we can always see the details by clicking on it. You can always come back and edit it if you need to edit it. But we are satisfied with that, and now we need to link our assessments to it. So let's look at the rubrics that are in this course. So click the rubrics link. Let's just take writing assignment rubric. If you don't have a rubric for the assignment, you'll have to create one because you need to link the rubric to an outcome. So let's edit the rubric. As always, you can edit any part of the rubric, but now look what is at the bottom. Find the outcome. And when you click that, it's going to take you to whatever outcomes are in your course. So we'll choose critical thinking. This part is very, very, very important. Do you want to use this outcome as part of the score? Usually you do not. You just want to know if they're mastering critical thinking in this particular assignment. Grading can be separate, but uncheck this if you don't want it to count towards their score. Click Import. You'll see that it is now here, critical thinking. Threshold for mastery is 3 points, but it does not count towards their final score. Click Update, and you'll see that the rubric is still only 50 points for the student's grade as it was before. So we're measuring mastery down here without factoring it into their grade. In the quizzes section of your course, come to the top right where you see the 3 dots and click Manage Question Banks. These are all the question banks in this sandbox course. If you did not create a question bank when you created your quizzes, you will find your quiz questions labeled unfiled. And you can simply edit these and give them appropriate names and use these quiz banks. We're going to choose Example Quiz Bank. Here are the questions in it. Come here and choose Align Outcomes. Here we see what we saw before. For this course, we're going to choose critical thinking. We can set the mastery at any percentage we want and click Import. And now they are aligned. Let's look at the results from the teacher's perspective first. I'm in the gradebook, and I want to see what Harry Potter has done for his outcomes. So I go to Learning Mastery, and here we see he's the only one that's participated in any of these assessments that are linked to the critical thinking outcome. If I hover over that outcome, I get the definition of it again and the calculation method as a reminder of what is set up. And then I see his score on however many items have been aligned with the critical thinking outcome. Harry Potter is doing just fine. Another place that you can look for outcome results as an instructor is to go to Outcomes from your course homepage, click on the particular outcome and then its title. You'll see everything aligned with that outcome and the students who have taken any of the assessments connected with that. Now let's look at Harry Potter's gradebook from his perspective. We're in the grades. This is the normal view of all the assignments in his course, but if he clicks on Learning Mastery, he'll see the outcomes that are linked in this course. He can click the arrow there to show him how he has done on any of the assessments that he has taken that are connected to critical thinking And he can see that at this point he has mastered the critical thinking outcome. Thank you for joining us. If you have questions, please contact us at mbuonlinetraining@mobap.edu.